So my name is Francesca Marchetti. I'm a self-employed independent optometrist, or as most people call me, a locum. I started working as a locum after I'd been qualified, probably about 8 years. And just after my daughter was born. And the reason I became a locum was because my husband was opening up his own practice. And I needed and wanted to support his business. Obviously, there was the attraction of a slightly higher daily rate than I would be as an employee. However, there are a lot of benefits associated with being an employee, which you just don't get at being self-employed. But I did find quite quickly that there were other opportunities open to me, not just doing eye examinations. And that was something that initially, when I became a locum, I hadn't anticipated or hadn't sort of thought about that. So very soon after I became a locum, I started working at Aston University as a sessional lecturer. And that was great for me because it fitted in with childcare, etc., because it wasn't a full working day. So that was the first thing that I started to do, slightly diverse compared to what I actually did as a jobbing optometrist. And then one role led to another, led to another, led to another. I then put myself forward to be on the college council. And that was absolutely fantastic. And being on the college council opened so many doors for me. And that really showed me the different areas within my profession. From that, I became an AOP council member and then an AOP board member. But that's allowed me to be a spokesperson for my profession. I've been on the television, I've been quoted on the radio, I've been quoted in newspapers. And I couldn't do any of that and couldn't have done any of that if I had been a locum, if I hadn't been a locum, sorry. You know, at the moment, for example, I'm actually living in Italy for a month, and I've been able to live in Italy for a month because I'm a locum. And okay, I'm not working, I'm not earning, but I do a lot of medical legal stuff. So I'm doing a lot of my medical legal stuff here. I'm doing a lot of my CPD online here, which means that when I go home, I'll go back into clinic and I'll be earning my money. So I've utilised my time wisely. It's not that I'm swanning about. I'm actually working most days on my profession. What you also have to take into consideration, I suppose it's a little bit like supply teaching. A lot of people go into supply teaching because they get a very good daily rate. And you do get that good daily rate. But what you also have to consider is, you know, your college fees are not paid, your AOP fees are not paid, your GOC fees are not paid. There are, you know, everything you do costs you money. And if you don't work, you don't earn. So although you might get a big daily rate, when you're not working, you don't earn. You don't get any holiday pay. It's also quite, I get a little bit of imposter syndrome working in a different practice because I know I'm a very good optometrist and I do my job very well. But as soon as you're hit with different software, as soon as you're hit with a different referral system and you're always saying, oh, could you just help me with that? And oh, my computer's frozen. And what happens if I have to refer this patient? And I always feel it makes me look quite incompetent when I'm not at all, but it's just because I'm not totally familiar with the system. And it can feel really quite isolating if you're not in a team that you're used to working with. I absolutely speak to the practice and say, you know, and especially if it's a practice I've never been to before, I will actually request that I don't work the first appointment of the day, because very often your first appointment is 9 o'clock in the morning, but you turn up at the practice and you don't have a key to that building, so you can't actually get in till 9 o'clock, and you literally hit the ground running, and then you end up being on the back foot all day. You're running behind, you feel you're getting a bad reputation. So one of my requests, if I'm going to a practice that I've never ever been to before, I will say, would you mind, please, that you blocked out the first appointment? I just need to find out where the toilet is, how the system works, where I can put my bag, where I can get my coffee, because I want to, you know, and I will say, I want to do a good job for you when I come to work for you. But if you throw me into a 9 o'clock appointment when I'm like, oh, you know, where's this and where's that, and I can't find a pen, and you know, I take all my equipment with me. I take my rep, my ophthalmoscope, my Volk, my pen, my frame ruler, my flippers, everything, because I don't know what necessarily I'm going to. But I always phone the practice, or at least email them, ask them where the best place to park, how much it's going to be to park, what the walk is from the parking place to the practice is. I look on Google Maps to check literally how long it's going to take me to get there, and I always get there in plenty of time. But there's also nothing worse than turning up 20 minutes before the practice opens, it's pouring with rain, and you actually can't get in the building. And that's quite frustrating, because you think, I could be in there and I could be setting up and I could be chatting to everybody and introducing myself. Absolutely introduce myself to every member of staff, every patient, so that, you know, you look as if you're part of that team, the permanent team. I would say don't jump straight into locuming. Don't chase the dollar. We have such a fantastic job. It's the best job in the world. But you need to fall in love with your profession when you're first qualified. You need to learn to love your patients. You need to get patients to love you. You need to feel needed and wanted and significant, and see that patient's journey. You know, there's nothing more rewarding than somebody coming in with a box of chocolates or a bouquet of flowers or a thank you card, thanking you for whatever you've done.